about her? What you know about her? What you know about her? She's a good thing. She's a go-getter, she get it all the time. She's faced with so many challenges, but she always shines. Yeah, now she's a good thing. Hey, yeah, that she's a good thing. She got that walk, that talk, that confidence too. It's he that find it, the wife, fella, she's favorite to you. Oh, now she's a good thing. Yeah, 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 that she's a good thing. She's a good thing. She's a good thing. You know that she's a good thing. She's a good thing, a good thing. A good thing. You know that she's a good thing, a good thing. She working 9 to 5, always chasing that dime. No matter what she face, she's dignified by grace. No matter what it seems, she's always chasing her dreams. Now you know what that means. She's a real queen. She's a good thing.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chris, and we are back talking with the team. What's up, team? Hey. So we are about to have another edition of Kingdom Conversations. And for real, y'all, tonight's guest is one of my personal faves. I think everybody on here can attest to that because she is one of the dopest people you will ever meet. And she is Miss Nikkia Cole Beach. But first, let me give you some insight, all right? Born on January 18th, bringing in that big cap energy with a heart of gold. She's the ultimate GT because we all know the word says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And Mr. Dion definitely caught the real one. So with her newfound confidence in self, she launched a brand that would motivate, uplift, and transform the mindset of any GT she comes in contact with. And y'all, I can attest to that. All right. She was able to use her platform as one of the stars of WeTV's hottest new shows, Grown in Gospel, solidifying her birthright. Let me say that again. Her birthright as the heir of gospel royalty. Her grandmother, Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, paved the way for her mother, Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole, and her aunts, the legendary Clark sisters, who she is actively the role manager for, making sure to keep her daughters, as she affectionately calls them, looking good as the original GTs, all right? Being a good thing ain't easy, but Nikki makes it look as smooth as her Chanel trends. She takes pride in being a good wife to Mr. Dion Beach, a good mother to DJ and Cashmere, and y'all, like you already know, she's just a daddy's girl to Mr. Elder Gregory Cole. So with all that being said, let's jump right in and kick it with this fly girl, Detroit's own Nikkia Cole Beach.
Hey, Nikki. What up, though?
All right, see what I'm saying? Bringing in Detroit already. What's up?
Keep it going.
Keep it going. How you doing? Good.
Thank y'all for having me. We're so glad to have you. You know we love you.
Yes, the world loves you. So I kind of want to ask you some icebreakers just so people get to know you a little bit better, all right? So I'm going to ask you this question. What would you say to your 16-year-old self?
It's so much. It's so much because I couldn't even tell myself what to say. I mean, it's so much that I can think of on what I wanted to be as becoming a young adult, because that was the age where I started finding myself being on my own car, living on my own. So, I mean, as far as getting in that mindset.
Yeah.
So, it was just all of those things, as in, okay, Nikki, you're grown, Nikki, you're getting older. So I think that I would probably say that just be yourself, continue to be yourself. And the 16-year-old me was being herself. But then, of course, as life transpire and life hits you, you know, things go in directions we don't expect it. But then, you know, I would say that I can do it over if I wanted to, but I just think that right now, I think that God had me to where I wanted to be. And I think that the 16-year-old self would have been like, girl, keep going. You might not have accomplished what you accomplished or wanted to, but just keep going.
Yeah, that's good. That is so good.
That is my 16-year-old self, child. Would anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. So I know you love music. What's your current playlist? Like, what when you get in a car, what you bumping?
I've been on this Afro beat stuff lately. I've just been heavy. I don't know if it's because I've been over in the island, over in Turks. It's just and ever since I just been heavy on it. So it's pretty much been like Afro beats.
Okay.
And then of course I stay with my jazz. That's all I do, which is jazz. And then because you know, gospel is just all that's in me, you know.
Right.
It's pretty much R&B, and I got a little hip hop in it, you know. I got to turn up every now and then to keep my energy.
We know you don't bump Faith Evans. We know that's definitely
got to keep that energy up. So it's just a balance because I am very musically inclined. So it's gonna be a versatile of every pretty much genre of what I have in my playlist.
That's what's up.
Got you. Yeah. What's the last song you played? Do you remember?
Well, I've been up on what's the New Joy song with Pharrell and the choir.
Oh yeah,
it's a banger. I've been up on that heavy, so it's like a really motivated banger and just keeping your spirits uplifted. Like joy, 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 joy. Yes,
I feel that.
I can just be like just getting off the phone with somebody and my spirit vexed, but. Yeah, that joy been heavy. It's been heavy on me.
You're gonna make me go play that when we get off here. Yeah,
I can't remember the group, but it's Pharrell. So he gonna pull up, but it's featuring him. I think, of course, he produced it, but I think he's featuring in the church group or something, a choir group.
Got you. Last icebreaker question. All right, and then gonna appreciate this one. What's one gangster tip from your dad?
Oh yeah, I laughed at that. It's so many. It's like it's so many to it. But of course, you know, growing up, he's always reminded me to check to always, you know, be mindful of my surroundings and who I, you know, come in contact with. Like he was the one that gave me that side of it because, you know, of course, we growing up to be, you know, just the lifestyle of being a celeb or a PK and you're constantly involved with people and then you come across people and then, you know, their motives are left. But at the same time, you kind of have that discernment to knowing, okay, look, check to see what, you know, because the smiles is one thing, but what is it, you know, on the next level of it. So I think that with that, he was always, you know, kind of like with instilling, like to, you know, make sure your surroundings and always be mindful of people and you know, observant. So that's why people will look at me, you know, and sometimes like, oh, you know, they think I'm mean or you know, just all those different vibes people pick up because they don't get the response they expect to get because the sisters, they're always dealing with the nice and sweet, but the nice and sweet, but you're gonna get the other side too. So
you got to keep that balance. You got to have that balance. Yeah,
balance to it.
So straight, no chaser.
It's just what it is, and don't charge it to my head. Just charge, you know, don't charge it to my heart. Just, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it means well.
Yeah,
I would say that would probably be the one most thing that stuck with me that he told me.
Okay, all right, y'all heard to check your surroundings, check the people you be with, cause
that part.
Right. You can't always be naive with things, but you know, sometimes you just gotta know. You gotta go back from what your parents instilled in you and told you. Like, okay, because sometimes we be, you know, stubborn. Like, oh, okay, mom, okay, dad, I hear you. Yeah, because it was always the friends that I hung with, you know, in my past. So it's like, and that's probably why I'm such a loner now. To where it's like, okay, I don't have that you know, them packs no more because it's you know, monitor it. So that stuck wise on me, and I'm glad, especially being in the streets. That helped me.
Yeah.
I feel that.
That's what's up.
Keep that.
Right, Chris. So let's get into you as a wife and a mother. Of course, I'm a wife and a mother as well. And so, I just want to hear your side on how you balance things. So if you had to think about it, like, how do you balance being a mother, being a wife, and your career?
Well, I think it's a challenge, but I think having the right, players on your team, the right village, in your
Yes.
camp, I think that kind of balances out, especially with me being that of course, when I was staying with my parents at the time, I would, just come into this thing of like, okay, I got the whole setup, the system of stability. My kids are straight while my husband is, doing his thing, whatever. And that was, the breakdown of it. But it was like, I know that God has put people in my life, because not knowing that I would be traveling with my mom and aunts, I thought I would just be a regular 9 to 5 body, just home and back home my babies. But it's a challenge. And that was a challenge on me mentally, because it's like, I want to be home with my kids. I don't want to put them in the same shoes that my mother put us in when it comes to being absent a lot. Of course, doing what she had to do. She had to get that bag. So it wasn't knocking it, but it was like, it did put a little void in it. And of course, y'all watching the show, y'all seen the 2 and 2 put together as to why our relationship is where it's at. But I think that mother-daughter relationship, that kind of, helped me to understand, like, okay, as a wife, this is what you have to do. As a mother, this is what you have to do. So I think that my mom, even though our relationship wasn't always good, as in my younger days, but then as a growing up and then becoming a mother and becoming a wife, it made me appreciate more. Okay, like, not to complain, like, people are doing worse than you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it had to humble me, because I'm like, it's a lot when, my situation with my husband went in, I was still in our house, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, we had to make these changes and, sacrifices, because I was gone a lot. And the lifestyle that he had, it was a lot. So I didn't want that to go into the next phase of my life. So I had to move out that house. And then, of course, opportunities to come into my parents' house, and then trying to get the stability, because I'm being gone a lot. I don't trust everybody with my kids. So I wasn't doing the nanny thing. And I don't have the money for all that anyway. Let's just be like, I wasn't paying no nannies, no babysitters and all that. So thank God.
Right.
For my dad. Thank you for my dad.
Yes.
My mom, my dad, and my brother, of course, because he comes in every now and then and helps out. But I just think that with that comes with the long territory of life, and your mental state is having the right village. And I think that's what helped me more.
That's so important, because when you think about your village, you have to really watch who you allow to be around your children, because when you're not there, they're gonna pick up on those spirits too, and all of that. So you got to really watch who's around your kids. So that's good that you have such a solid village for your children. So while you're there, when you're not there, they always have somebody there that you can trust. Right. So and their parents, like you said, you got godparents for your kids, I'm sure. All of that plays a big role in their life, because they only get one childhood, right?
One
childhood. So you got to make sure that you're protecting them, because that's your greatest contribution to the world are your children.
It
so
is.
That's good. That is so
Especially
good.
Nowadays with the world and where it's at now. It's not compared to how we were growing up. So it's like social media, and you got all these quick, different accounts or whatever outlets of, this just easy influence stuff.
Right.
So I think that's important too, with just being able to stay on top of your kids and teaching them what they're supposed to do. Because I've had my moments where I slip, and then I'm like, okay, it comes to hit me. That single parent mentality hit every now and then, because I can't relate to that. And sometimes the villages is not there, and then sometimes, like with the trust again, the villages wind up being the ones that you gotta either gonna knock out or have to go to jail for. You know what I'm saying? That was my weakness as well. So that's why I'm like, God had to work with me, and of course humble me, because like I said, this wasn't easy.
Right.
But fast forward to now, how things is good. God is good.
Yes.
I am loving this motherhood thing, and just being able to have God as my, I'm saying, solid rock.
Yes, your foundation.
Lean on that, because it be
Definitely
days
your
I'll be
anchor
crying.
for sure.
I'll be crying. Y'all wouldn't even know. I get on Instagram smiling and cheering, but I'll be crying, because it be days it's like, ooh, it's hard. And I really hard for single mothers, because I know what they're dealing with. especially when I can't relate to having baby daddies, but I could just imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that they go through as far as baby daddies and the drama and all that can be a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad I don't have that.
That's good that you brought up single mothers. So like what advice would you give to like single GTs or even married GTs?
Well, yeah, the single mothers, of course, it's as far as, you know, just the independent wise of it, you know, you got the ones that's growing up and becoming themselves as finding themselves as being the woman that they want to be. But then of course you got distractions, and sometimes them distractions, you know, are not in your life or plans.
Yeah.
So you dealing with, you know, just so happen to be, you know, unplanned pregnancies and, you know, situations in life that occurs that detour your life or where you want to go. So I think that with single mothers, I think that we have a strong-minded, you know, strong will, and the perseverance that we have is to make known, like, okay, I know I got to do this for my baby. It's not just about us no more, you know. I think that the strength that we carry is more of a grind of like, okay, I got to do this just not for myself, but for my babies. And sometimes, you know, we have that moment of mental breakdown because we like, oh, this nigga did this guy did this, that, you know, you know, it's all at the same time. And then as far as when we're married women, you know, we dealing with life because we carrying the loads of our husbands as well as our children. So that's another extra loads that's, you know, being pounded on our back. So all of those things is accumulating and it's dealing with, you know, life issues and real life dealings and mental, because this mental health stuff is getting serious.
It's so serious. Yes, it is so
ever
serious.
since the pandemic, but it's just gotten worse. You know, you got these mothers is killing their kids because they just tired of living. They just tired, or that, you know, you got the baby daddies and, you know, they jealous, you know, they won't kill nobody else, so they killing you because it's just so much. So I think that just having that strong relationship with God will keep your mental state intact. And that's how I had to grow into it. I'm still growing into it.
Yeah, it's a journey for everyone.
You know, I'll say some things that I ain't supposed to say, and it's just off of venting. But at the same time, God, he'd be like, okay, calm down, Nikki, calm down. So,
he'll reel you back in.
So you know, you have to know how to just flow and grind with it. Like, you know, that the saying and the slogan for the GT, you know, brand is, you know, God is not gonna put no much on you than what you can bear. But then also you overcoming. We always overcome the obstacles because we're still here. We never overcame them. We wouldn't be looking like what we looking like.
Right.
So I just think that that's a balance as well.
That's dope.
That is so good. Wow.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Snaps on that one. That was good. So let's talk about your husband. Do you think that it was love at first sight?
No, it wasn't, because I wasn't being bothered with him. I will only say that because I was on the go. I met him at a gas station.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like I was on the go. And then you know how you got because of course, you know, he was in the street. So he had that other, you know, stream of income. So he would be at the gas station taking stuff. And, you know, I was just coming to get me some gas. I don't even think I was getting. I think I was coming here to get some water. And he was like, hey, baby, can I pump my gas? I'm like, no, just kept walking.
Not you played on.
I had a BMW at that time. He like, oh, I love your Beamer, baby. Like, you want to come ride with me in my range? We could ride together. He just saying all this stuff while I'm going back to my car. I'm like, I'm good. I think he said something, and it was just like, okay, let me give in, because this nigga
he ain't gonna stop. He ain't quitting. He ain't letting
up. Oh my God, he was going in. And
he
so
knew
that's pretty much how it happened. Then of course we went on our first date, and that's when it was like first love. Because when you think of the breakdown of love at first sight, you like, okay, oh my God, when you first lay eyes, like, oh my God, I gotta have him.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't at that first sight. It was at the date when he took me out on a date.
Okay, so
what really intrigued me was that him being, you know, oh my God, y'all, hold on one second. Him being with you know, I need an assistant. with him being from the streets, from that side, that lifestyle,
Mhm.
their mentality sometimes is not always intact of being a gentleman.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In my younger days, it was like I overpassed that look. It was like as long as he was taking me out to eat, taking me shopping, that was the mentality that I looked for. But opposed to him, he was doing all of that, but then on top of being a gentleman, opening up my door, getting mad, at me because I'm open. Because I'm like, you taking too long, hurry up,
Right.
Like I gotta
Open his door.
So even the car doors, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was real particular about, the etiquettes of, he opened the door for me. And then when I get in, like he had to teach me that, like when I get in, then you slide over and you open the door for him, push the door for him. Like he taught me,
that.
So I was like, oh yeah, this man. And then of course, you go off of how they treat their mother. And
oh yeah.
Adored. He treated her like it was his daughter.
Wow.
Buying her stuff and taking care of her house and all that stuff. So that's why I'm like,
That's
he has a lot of potential. And that's what really attracted me is seeing how he treated his mom for one, but then also the gentleman, tendencies that he has.
Okay.
That's important. That is so important.
Yeah.
So do you think you will renew your vows?
Yes, of course.
That would be so nice.
Of course.
What year?
We eloped, People don't know that. Yeah, we went down to downtown. I mean, Pontiac.
Yeah.
Okay.
The building. So yeah, I had a wedding planned, but at that time my basement had a flood.
Okay.
So that took off the whole vibe, excitement of, trying to prepare for a wedding and then, all of that. So we just like, let's just go on and just do this on up, And that was pretty much, and that's why I'm like, I would love, of course, I'm going to give my dad, his fairy tale, giving his daughter off. So yeah, I'm gonna give him that real deal. But just his blessings offhand, just of how we did it, it was like that was just so, respectful. Because everybody want to have a fairy tale wedding.
Right.
But it also made me learn to this day, like, I'm glad I did do it like this because sometimes these weddings nowadays, these theatrical and production weddings,
right.
It doesn't stick. It doesn't apply the glue to the union. It's more so of trying to impress y'all, the people, the family and friends. But it's like after you say "I do, honey,"
that's
when the work. That's when the real work is.
Production and all that stuff. Trying to have all this stuff going on at the reception. It's like, yeah, that's a one-time thing, but you also want to be mindful as to like what you're really doing this for. And I think that's pretty much that's why nowadays. You look at it like I'm gonna have a wedding, but I don't want to go over the top like that.
Right.
It's meant to be simple, like the traditional weddings.
Right.
Yeah. I might do the horse and carriage to take me down the street and then, take us to the reception hall, whatever. Yeah. But all this other stuff, I just think that people is really a trend now.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not sacred no more.
No, who I can impress. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like it's not sacred. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do one, but I would want to do something traditional. So
yeah, I like that. And you definitely want your marriage to be more beautiful than the wedding, right? You gotta put just as much work or even more work into the actual marriage itself than you do for planning a wedding. So I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're gonna want people to see your taste and what what you working with.
Right.
Yeah, but what I'm gonna be working with when y'all gone home and then y'all talking about me like, oh, that wedding was nice. Oh,
exactly.
At home, I'm going through hell like, oh,
right.
So it's just all about, and that's why I'm thank God that I'm raised this way and going in the direction that I go to of learning life still.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. And all the things that you have learned, you can always pass it on down to your children, to help them, because I wish a lot of things, that I learned as an adult. I wish I would have been told that long time ago. Maybe I wouldn't have made that chat, gone that way or whatever.
That's what I'm
or maybe
saying.
I would have. You just never know. But, I think nowadays it is important for us to talk to our children and keep it real. You know, a lot of times, you know, we sugarcoat things, and then they don't really find out the real until later on in life, and it's like they're traumatized, right?
Right.
So it's
That's how
good.
we
It's
were
good.
raised.
Yeah.
It was pretty much things being pushed up, you know, brushed up under the rug all the
Right.
time.
Right.
You know, I think it was a gig my mom did, and it was at this church. Y'all probably know about it, but their theme was daughters, daughters and
Dads and
sons.
yeah.
And they were talking to, they pretty much, you know, gave insight on people that's been abused, you know, physically, mentally abused in the church and outside the church. And it's sad because the pastor, you know, he was saying like we don't get the support that you would think we would get.
Right.
And you know, he liked how I put my emphasis on it as far as like the generation of our generation, you know, we were always looked at, especially in church, being brought up in church, everything was just like on the hush, like
Right.
don't say nothing, look, don't my husband is not, look, my son is not in jail, he just went away to college, or he in the army,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So all of those things, that's how we were brought up. So that's why, you know, people still to this day, they, you know, DM me and like, oh my God, like the show, you know, like you very transparent, because we don't have that. We don't have vulnerability. We have arrogant, you know, people that want to judge you and then, you know, point the finger at you at the same time when they're going through worse than you. You know, I think that people have to really be, you know, a little bit considerate, like, because we are dealing with stuff.
Right.
You know, it's just a whole nother level up behind it.
It is.
Right. And that's what makes
girls and all the above.
Right.
We going through things, but you
Right.
know, we want the church to drop it right off to him. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
And that's what makes what your ministry, I'm going to go ahead and call it your ministry, because that's what you literally, like, that's what makes your ministry so relevant and so much like needed right now, because we need the transparency, right? There's so many, you have so many like young adults, teenagers that look up to you, and for them to hear your story and hear how you're just being open about it and telling them, you know, this is how it was, but this is where I am now, so you can make it through. You know, it's a journey for everyone, but just to have someone to keep it real with them and like give it to them flat out, right? They need that. They need that. So kudos to you. Shout out to you for everything that you're doing, because your ministry is so relevant. So relevant. And so much, so needed for sure.
Thank you, because this wasn't, I wasn't gonna do none of this stuff when it pertains to females, because that was something that God had to really work with me on.
Yeah.
Being my younger days, I pretty much didn't deal with females because of the catty, you know, the he say, she say,
drama.
You know, they think you want to take your man. I'm like, your man looking at me. Don't come man.
Right.
That's what you're supposed to do. And it's like that was just always the issue. And then so of course, I mean, my growing up days, I had my tomboy moments, younger, playing basketball. So like I had that balance of, you know, but as of growing up and seeing how God was putting this thing together as I was playing with it, you know, with the whole GT, you know, wording, it was like, I didn't think it was going to be to this magnitude. And like you said, people, friends that I grew up with, friends, you know, that I've clubbed with, party with, you know, they're very, very, very much so supportive. And I mean, as you can see the example of Tierra, like me and her was, you know, in the clubs together, like other friends that I pull around. A couple of them came to the event, you know, for my mom's launch party. So it was like, I have a way of trying to pull them in, you know, because that's what it was back in the day. Like, look, we out here in the club tonight, but tomorrow, come on, let's go to church. Let's go, you know, let's go have a good time and, you know, get this off of you, get this spirit off of you.
Right.
So those, you know, that's the thing that I really looked at as in being a woman's hood, sisterhood, you know, thing with this movement, and just really encouraging women, like, this is what it is.
Right.
We're, you know, the Jews that, you know, men, shout out to Dan, my gentlemen.
Right.
You know? So, you know, that's what it is what it is. And not like what I'm trying to say is that God he blowing my mind with it.
Right.
He blowing my mind with it because with the DMs and the text that I get, it's like, wow, this GT thing, GT. And I'm like, I was playing with this thing, not knowing that it was going to be a ministry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I thought it was a fun little, I go throw it on some t-shirts and we just represent like, but no, this is what it is, honey.
Yeah.
Don't give up in life. All my divorcees. Don't give up. You didn't make it with that one. It's not the end. You could go with the next. That's if you want to.
Right.
I don't want to be married. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Praise God.
Look, that's your ministry right there.
God, that's my ministry right there. That's my ministry
you
right
might
there.
have to have, you have your moments of wanting to be pleasured, but
right.
what you gotta do.
Lord.
Because sometimes you just don't want to deal with niggas every time.
Right.
Or guys. Let me stop saying that. Let me stop. But yeah, you don't want to deal with men every now and then. So I kudos to you all. The divorce, the single, independence, all the above, and that's what this whole method of the brand and the movement is about. It's just to let you guys know that you a good thing.
Yes. That's why we're having this conversation. That is exactly why we're having this conversation. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing it for the kingdom, right? That's what we're doing it for. So these are kingdom conversations and things that needs to be said. I mean, the world needs to hear it. They need to know about this good thing movement because it's coming to a city near you.
That's
right.
Right. You better
know.
With that being said, let's shift into career and just get some insight there since we're talking about the GT movement.
You say what?
I said since we're talking about that GT movement, let's talk about your career. Let's get into that.
Okay, so I'll do the career part. Hey, GT.
Hey, my GT.
Okay, for the first question, what was your first ever job you've ever had? Do you remember?
Well, first, because that would be my teenager days. Yes. I was at Tubby's. But that was like for one day, because when they told me I couldn't wear it, I got a check. So yeah, I had to make sure I got that check. But yeah, they told me I couldn't wear nails. And I'm like, I'm wearing gloves to make the sandwiches. Why I can't wear nails?
Right.
But it's like
that was your deal breaker.
I gotta know. Cute flow. No, I'm not wearing nubs.
Right.
We little boy at that time for that little pay, and I was what 17? Like no. But yeah, it was Tubby's. My very first, as in like young, very first.
Okay. So the next question: what is your responsibilities as a road manager to the legendary Clark sisters?
Well, of course, I handle the logistics when it comes to making sure. Well, of course, I have a team now, so I don't really do nothing now. Pretty much just the wardrobe. Thank God, my job is getting easier. But no, it's just making sure they're good on the road. Of course, with the making sure they're comfortable in their hotel rooms, whatever is needed. And then, of course, on the the performance side, if they're needing of drink water or whatever, I'm making sure they're there just to really pretty much be the eye. So I handle the wardrobe and then the other side. I used to do the bookings, but I kind of like gave that a rest because people was getting on my nerves. So shout out to Dante. He be looking out. So yeah, so that's about it. That's pretty much what I do. And just tell them what to do. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So
That's what I meant to say first. I tell them what to do.
Tell them what to do.
Then, yeah,
everything else.
Okay. Okay. What are the pros and cons with working with family?
I mean, I think because they're my aunts, so it still lies and they're older, so it still relies on being respectful. But then also, in a playful way, because like I said, I'll, switch roles. I don't go as the niece. I always go as Nikki, the assistant road manager, whatever, because I want to try to keep those two separate. Even business. I don't call them by mommy. Sometimes it'll slip out, of course, auntie, but then I will just say their names because when I say auntie, all of them turn their heads, of course. So I have to kind of give descriptive of, okay, JCC, KCS, BCC, Thyng or whatever. So those are the things. But when it comes to, they're females. So
Yeah.
I'm dealing with all the above of estrogen levels,
Jesus.
we got Christian estrogen levels, and sometimes they'll go into
Christian
the
estrogen
secular
levels.
estrogen levels, every now and then. And of course, my grandmother, she comes in every now and then. So that, it is what it is at the end of the day. It's a blessing because again, it's my family and I have fun.
Yeah.
Working. And I think that's probably why it's taking me so long to kind of just slide on over to my own, doing my own stuff. But and they don't want me going nowhere. So I'm sticking around as long as I can. But I think that's the blessing overall is that, we have our disagreements, but it's all good and dandy.
Okay, which
sister on the
sister?
show is what we really go. Like I'll pull an outfit like, oh yeah, y'all can do this. Oh, y'all can do this. We can sanctify. We'll put a little cover on the top of it. We'll make it straight. You got to slip in. We got to slip on up under there. You can put that on. We make it work. I want y'all to be trendy.
Right.
Y'all don't have no average 50, 60, 70, 8-year-old fan base. This is a whole nother level of fan base they have.
Yeah.
So you want to keep that, you don't want to see them coming out in no flower dresses.
No.
No floral. I mean, don't get me wrong, floral is cute, but
right.
sisters in floral dresses, no. Look like Walmart dresses, like
right.
And Walmart is lit. Like, look, I've done it for them, and y'all wouldn't even know.
Wow,
but,
you're right.
Yeah. So, and shout out to Target too. But
yeah.
So it's it's just basically how having that eye and how you want them to be received. So I just think that's it. But it's really overall thing with us.
And you do a good job.
Yes, you do.
Awesome
Yes,
job.
Thank you. I love when you came to Atlanta and they had the jean jacket with the hat. Yes. The black and the different color ones. Yeah, shout out to you on that.
Yeah. I have to keep them trendy. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna get these in.
Yes.
Get these.
All right, King.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, which sister are you most like, do you think?
I'll say my Aunt Jackie because we're the same sign.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll say the shout out to Capricorns. Yeah, I'll say me and her are pretty much alike. The way we think, the way we look at things, and yeah.
Okay.
The way we get to the nitty-gritty.
Yes.
Tell it like it is. That part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you're being a GT, you're the CEO of being the GT. So tell us what advice you would give someone that's trying to start out their own business, like starting out in their own business. What advice would you give them?
Well, I'm still learning. I'm trying to carry this entrepreneur thing. Like, it's kind of hard, but I think consistency. Consistency, and that's what I'm gathering up. This consistency, if you notice, I ain't did nothing on the site. I ain't put no shirts out or nothing, and that's because once I put them out, it's gonna be a consistent thing.
Yes,
it's gonna be everything just generating on the consistent. So I think that consistency is, and then also just being honest. You can't take the people's money and then don't send their stuff.
Ooh.
So I think that was, and then customer service, because I worked in customer service. So I think that with me, once I get back rolling, or when I'm about to get back rolling, I think that that's going to help me out is to be consistent, and then also to just be communicating. Like, okay, I apologize. And I think I've done that. Like in my last sales, it didn't come at a certain time. So I'll be like, oh, shoot, or you place the order and it's like, oh, shoot, okay, I'm going to send you something additional to that. I'll post something in. So those are the things that, and especially when you want to do it yourself, because I don't mind, doing it through the system when it comes to the ship label or drop shipping and all that through those companies, but I want to have my touch on it. So I think being hands-on, and that's what I'm working on now, is get my machine so I can just do my own t-shirts in my house and just So I think that everything had to come in its own order. But I
Yeah.
think that consistency and that hard work, dedication is really the top. And that's why I'm saying I can't really say and tell y'all, you know, like this, but because I'm still doing it, I'm learning it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not something you want to just say, oh, I got these that I'm selling, and then like I never understood that. Like people, you know, they
Yeah.
have this going on and then it stopped. Like
Yeah, like where you
keep
go.
going. And
Yeah.
that's something that's my fear of happening. I don't want to happen. Like once I start back up, it's gonna be a thing, and it's gonna be new things coming in, you know, new things. So
Okay,
yeah,
what do you see your brand expanding into?
I just think it's gonna be just. I mean, ain't no telling. God be blowing my mind, so I don't know. But because people, you
Big,
know, they be like
big
the
God.
clothing line.
Right.
I'm contemplating this thing with these, like, you know, just having little like what is it, like little trinkets here and there to kind of boost the line, like bonnets, you know, she
Oh.
saying bonnets and waist train. Like I'm trying to do all of those things, and
Yeah.
it's
You want to
coming.
get your
The
fitness
GT
line.
fitness, and that was on that's on hold because I had kind of mixed in the midst of transitioning with the vendors that I was using, and then I'm my own worst critic, so I kind of had to revamp the
Yeah.
work, the font, and the fonts of the GT Fit, because it's different fonts that I was playing with, and it's like, okay, that's not the font, it's not, and I'm still looking to finalize it, but I think I got it. But that was something, of course. So that's all coming because people is like they're on top, they're on my head.
Yeah.
Like literally on my head. So that's why I'm like, I'm coming with it, but I just know I needed to take my time and just map out everything. Cause like I said, I'm my worst critic, but I know I gotta get something going.
Yeah.
But
Well,
patience
that's
is
good. Well,
That's gonna
and we
be
will
another.
be looking out for the GT Fitness because we watch you do your fitness every day. So
yes.
motivation, definitely motivation.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Thank
let's segue
y'all.
into grown and gospel.
Mhm.
So, how was your experience on the reality TV show, Grown and Gospel?
It was cool. But one thing I can say, it was cool because like I said, this TV stuff is totally not me.
Mhm.
So I've always wanted to be a part of a reality show, but not on as a cast. So when Carlos, you know, and they called and what is that, whatever, was trying to put that together, it threw me off because I'm like, I don't even do this CP stuff. But they were so interested with my personality along with everything that I got going on. So that was an experience. It was a pull, but at the same time, I was able to flow and be me. But you
Mhm.
know, you couldn't really tell that because of the editing stuff. But other than that, it was cool.
It was lit.
It was cool. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's easy because they take up your time, and y'all, you know, y'all only get to see what 3 minutes of that when it
Right.
consists of a 2-3 hour day type thing, 4 or 5 hour day. So
Yeah.
that's the stuff that kind of like hinders. Like y'all, they all took up all my time,
Yeah.
just to condense this to like 3-4 minutes. So that was the challenge. But other than that, I loved it. I loved the fact that I was able to push myself out. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, because they really pushed me out. My producer, they was on me. So because that was something again that I did not want to do, but they was able to push me out and get my story out right.
Yeah.
Of course, in the midst with between the cast, that was okay because I grew up with some of them, so that was a easy thing.
Right.
And of course, you know, some I didn't, and you know, I just had a little few ups and downs, but it was, other than that, it was worth it because
Yeah.
everybody know who I am. They know me as me, and they know with or without the editing that I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna
Did
be.
it teach you? Did it teach you anything about yourself overall after doing
No,
the show?
it was just what it was. You know, it is what it was. I gave them what it
It
was.
was just a moment in time.
Gave
Yeah.
them what it was. I just think that with these shows is sometimes, you know, I just I feel as though you're able to get yourself, you know, when I say as far as vulnerable and being transparent, I think that's the platform that I wanted to get out, because being that, you know, people has an expectation of seeing so much being from coming from a big known family. You know, it's always, oh, she's this, or, you know, of course, with that, you know, nepotism thing, that's something I'm very, very hard at dealing with, because it's all these expectations of what they expect you to be and how you should become as growing up. And you know, I had to put it to them like, no, that's not what I was doing. You know, this is what I am. And even, you know, the lifestyle that I chose, as in the life that I was in, that was just what I was. And people, they still, you know, come at me like, thank you for being that, because that's me. You know, PKs, they look at it like we're not supposed to be, like we're exempt, like we're not supposed to be like them. Like, like where how are we supposed to be if we're not all being the same?
Exactly.
Because I go to church more than you don't mean that I don't call on the same God that you call on.
Exactly.
Right.
I need help too, so I'm gonna call the same God you call on.
That part.
Doing wrong or when you're doing right. So that's why I'm like, people just, you know, have their way of thinking. But I just wanted that to be, you know, known on that platform. Like, this is what it is. This is what we go through. Relatable. We do, even with the conversations that we had in, you know, in the show that y'all would see for entertainment, but it was really what it is. You know, this is what people go through. They go out to eat and they talk about people, you know, gossiping or whatever, you know, discussions. And, you know, that's just what it is. So that's what people had to see. Like, this is reality, and this is what we're really dealing with. This is just not for just TV. But it's some things, you know, you had to be entertained, and you had to be like, oh my God, okay, I want to watch the next one. What's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
Those are the different dynamics that we had to deal with. But other than that, it was worth it. It was worth it.
It's amazing to see how, even with doing this show, how your reach has literally gone out to not just the single moms, not just the married women, but also to the preacher's kids. Like, you out here representing for us too, because I'm a preacher's kid and I'm raising some preacher's kids. So I get it. Like, you know, it's that's just so dope, Nikki. It really is. And you're gonna see what big God does, because it's about to blow up. Blow up for you. I'm so excited for you, because I mean, like I said, it's just so relevant right now. Like, the world needs to hear all of this and see it and understand, like, yeah, like this is what I went through, this is what I did, but look at me now, and look at where I'm going.
Period.
Exactly.
And everybody can't go. And everybody can't go.
Right. Absolutely.
So
everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to ask the last little questions, some random little questions, just so people can really just see the funny side of you, and get some insight. Go ahead, Dan.
All right, Nikki, what's up? What's up?
Hey.
All right, we're finna ask a few questions. Okay, so what's a secret talent that you have? Nobody seen, nobody heard, you never discussed. What's something, you know?
No, secret talent. I don't know. I said, because I mean, I played the violin, but I know y'all probably knew about that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I used to play the violin. Well, with my nails again. I had to cut the but when I was younger, of course, that was my main instrument, was violin. I didn't learn how to do the piano, none of those other instruments. It was always the violin.
Wow.
I always wanted to be the next, what's her name? Mary.
Oh, that you do the hip hop.
She did the song with Twister and all the hip hop. Yeah.
She's dope.
I like her. Yeah. I wanted to be the next her.
Wow. So we need to see you do your
girl. Right. Yeah. Really be short now, but they're gonna wind up being long by the time you be like, you want violin, you can try it. I was always on that violin. But yeah, that's probably it.
Okay.
That,
a violinist.
All right. Okay. What's your favorite childhood memory?
Going to Cedar Point. But no, I say Bob Low Island, because that was the Detroit thing.
Okay.
Like Cedar Point's still here, but yeah, Bob Low Island was a thing that you would go past Belle Isle, and it was like this whole carnival setup. Like,
did you ever go down that slide?
The giant slide. Oh yes. Rub burns to this point to this day.
What?
Oh yes. And it's like I want to take my babies to have that experience, but I don't even get them downtown like I want to because it'd be so much going on.
Yeah.
It'd be so much going, like even with the ice skating stuff they be having. I want to take my son down there. They be popping up doing stuff. Like I would have to pick a day and the right time for it. But it's like it's just done changed. It's done changed. But that giant slide, that was a vicious thing, boy. And
we did that on the shade room.
We was getting on there by grace. Cause the way them humps would have you would be lifting up off the and flop right back on down. And then once you hit that end, everybody was known to get a world burn.
Oh goodness.
Because that was the grip to keep you from stop, like to keep that stop. So it was just like that was the days though.
Okay, Detroit.
Those were the days.
How many tats do you have?
How many tats? 8.
You got 8.
You got one more than me. I got 7.
Yeah. They're so addictive. I'm thinking about getting another one right now while we talking about it.
I told myself that I want another one on my bag, and I was like, Chris.
Yeah, I don't have no more room for that. And that's how it used to be. You just come up with something like, oh, I want to get this done. Let me just go.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, that was the thing. And then of course piercings.
Yeah, you got piercings?
All those. I've been delivered.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Praise.
I had the eyebrow one.
Are you serious?
Oh yes.
You got a picture? I want to see this.
I have young. It was back in my days. I had to find pictures, but they used to call me Left Eye because I would keep that thing in. And then I think when I got into a fight and the chick pulled it out, that's when I had to stop wearing it.
Oh no.
That was the last time I had it, and that was in my 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. And I always wanted to do a nose one, but this mole was throwing everything off. I'm like, it's just too much attention on my nose. No, you have to walk up to me and look at my nose while you're talking to me. You looking at the mole and the nose ring. No. I said, no, I'm straight. But I always wanted my nose pierced.
Wow. Okay.
That's a painful thing, though. I ain't gonna lie, because
I know it.
You got a nose piercing, right?
I do.
Yeah, I always wanted one.
Wow. All right. So I think the people really got to see and hear you. Last question is, what do you anticipate happening with yourself in the next, let's say, 3 years?
Well, of course, I'm about to go back to school because my mama, auntie, and my husband, they don't motivate me.
That's right.
So now that I'm about to be a little bit more stable, settling in my house stuff and all that, I'm finish school. It was really business management, so I'm gonna pursue that.
That's what's up.
I was at Full Sail, so I'm gonna pick that up at Full Sail, and then and really just having this on a whole nother level. Probably having a lot of GT, merch or paraphernalia, all this stuff when it comes to GT hair.
Yes, okay.
You never know. So that's why I'm like, I just like to ease on down. I don't really like talking stuff up. I'm speaking it in the air, of course, the atmosphere. But I just like to just go with the flow of it.
Yeah.
Until things, happen. Because I stay optimistic, but then I also look at it like once you get too optimistic, then you dog yourself and you dog the situation because it ain't happening, when you want it to.
Right.
And God is, having his way of like, okay, just wait.
Yeah. And watch him set it up.
Right. Real quick. Well, Nikki, tell the people where they can find you, your social media, so they can go ahead. And if they're not already following you in your GT movement, where can they find you?
Oh, well, yes, y'all can follow me. I'm working on Facebook. I don't have Facebook. if you do see that I have a Facebook page, it is not me. So please report it. And that maybe that'll probably motivate me to get Facebook.
Okay.
Other than that, I have Instagram, of course, Coco Chanel. I was hacked, so it's COCO period, then SHANE 6 L's.
Okay.
So I was determined to get that Chanel in there.
Right.
Yeah. 60. I was gonna say if it was gonna be 10, 20 L's, I was gonna,
right. You was gonna be there.
and then I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, but I don't really do that. That was just for
the show.
Back and forth talking.
Yeah.
Show stuff. But Twitter is Nikkia 1982. And then of course my website, She's a GT, and that's for the Good Thing Worldwide and everything. And of course, I'm getting a new website, but of course you can find what's on there now. Yeah. Just to check out to see what's going on. Then I have a lot of other stuff going on.
All right.
Say it. I'm so glad I can start saying that. I can't say it.
I know. So stay tuned.
I can't talk about it because I gotta just
with it.
Yes, pop out.
Learning branding and marketing things. So y'all just hang tight.
Yes.
Y'all heard her. Stay tuned. She got big things coming, big things popping, y'all. So
yes, and then the show, of course, people is bugging about if we're gonna do season 2. We don't know yet. Just like we was watching everything with y'all. We don't know. It's in, they're trying to see what's up. But y'all can, if y'all go and watch it, the people can go on and watch it on All Black, which is Watch Black, All Black, the app, and check it out and have your people check it out. And then that'll give us a quick response.
Yeah.
On what's happening.
What's up? What's happening?
There's a lot going on, mommy. It's a lot. I'm getting ready to move. I'm still in the process, Mom. So listen, look, seriously. Hey, I just got the listings from the realtor. You did? So I've just been going back and forth to see which one. But we'll see. And then if we do, I'm gonna do it. But if not, y'all stay tuned with GT.
Period. All right. Thank you, Nikki, so much for having this Kingdom conversation.
Thank you.
I always love kicking it with you. You are so real. You're so authentic. And like Miriam has said, and we've all said, people need to hear it. So we just can't wait to see what God does with you.
Thank y'all so much. And I just want to say thank y'all for y'all support, for love, for the genuine, support and the love. And we just appreciate it.
We love y'all.
People.
Love you, love you, love you.
100.
That was it. This was our last Kingdom Conversation with Nikkia Cole Beach. Check us out when we come back. Love y'all.
See y'all later.